Of American gun violence and deaths continue. The latest victim is the state of Iowa, and two people and the shooter outside a church on the outskirts of Ames. A man shot and killed two women in the parking lot of a church, then turned the gun on himself, adding 3 more dead to the toll in a series of recent shootings that have rocked the United States. The incident took place at a fundamentalist Christian church while a church program was going on inside. When deputies arrived on the scene, they found all 3 dead. Meanwhile, another shooting incident rocked a funeral service in Racine, Wisconsin. At least 2 people were shot while attending a burial at a cemetery. Well, both of those shooting incidents took place just hours after the gun control debate in the US House. The House committee was debating a gun control legislation measure. The bill is called Protecting Our Kids. It is a 41-page act which aims to toughen national gun laws. One of the major provisions is raising the legal age for buying certain guns. The current legal age is 18 years, which could be raised to 21. This is a crucial provision because the shootings that occurred in New York and then in Texas were carried out by 18-year-olds. Some of the other provisions that lawmakers are focusing on include clamping down on the trafficking of weapons and encouraging their safe storage. President Biden demanded that lawmakers respond to communities turned into killing fields. In a rare evening address to the nation, the US president asked the Republicans to block gun measures supported by large majorities in both parties, and even among gun owners.
Look, I know some folks will say 18-year-olds can serve in the military and fire those weapons. But that's with training and supervision by the best trained experts in the world. Don't tell me raising the age won't make a difference. Enough. We need to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. And if we can't ban assault weapons, then we should raise the age to purchase them from 18 to 21. Strengthen background checks. Enact safe storage law and red flag laws. Repeal the immunity that protects gun manufacturers from liability. Address the mental health crisis, deepening the trauma of gun violence and as a consequence of that violence. These are rational, common sense measures.
Republicans in the House objected to advancing new limits on gun purchases. In a dramatic show of defiance, one Republican legislator pulled out his handguns at the hearing. Republican Representative Greg Stubbe held up 3 guns, one by one, for the committee to see.
Here's a Sig Sauer 320. It takes a 20-round magazine. Here's a 12-round magazine that would be banned. It doesn't fit because it would be banned. This gun would be banned under this bill. Here's a gun I carry every single day to protect myself, my family, my wife, my home. This is a XL Sig Sauer P365. I'm at my house. I can do whatever I want with my guns.
Raise a point of order.
Is exactly what the Democrats want to do.
The committee will attempt to approve the bill. Democrats, who narrowly control the House, intend to put the bill to a vote by the full chamber next week. However, the measure has little chance of passing the Senate amid political headwinds. Biden's party holds enough votes to pass the bill in the House, but it faces slim chances in the Senate. 60 votes are required in the Senate to advance most legislation. It's expected to be an uphill battle for the Democrats, as Republicans in Congress strongly advocate for gun rights.
Well,
Our correspondent Susan Tarani is joining us live from New York City to give us more on this. Susan, the gun violence continues seemingly unabated in the US. Can anything be done about these mass shootings that are rocking the country?
So the conversation conversation is ongoing right now. There is some hope and leeway since we talk about the Senate, and it seems like the headline is that this gridlock will ultimately be in the Senate. You know, Republicans and Democrats, there is hope that they may reach a consensus on red flag laws, stricter background checks, and also perhaps, issues regarding mental health as well, and safety in schools following of all the shootings. So Senator Chris Murphy will reach across the aisle to his colleagues from Texas, and they are expected to put forth their own bill. The Democrats know very well in Congress that their widespread bill will not get passed. President Biden himself also knows that, what he proposed last night will definitely be extremely ambitious. But the way the U.S. Constitution is set, and we can't stress this enough, a lot of states pass their own gun laws. For example, in light of the Buffalo shooting and what happened in Texas, New York just yesterday on Thursday passed sweeping gun legislation, raising the age from 18 to 21 to buy semi-automatic rifles. A lot of other major changes were made to gun laws here in New York yesterday through this legislation. For example, the buying of bullet-resistant armor, which was worn by the killer in Buffalo. Also, new guns to be equipped with microchipping technology as well to help law enforcement identify where these guns are being purchased. 22 states across the country have these strict gun laws. States really have the opportunity and the chance and the legal authority to pass these strict gun laws should they deem necessary. On a federal level, those red flag laws perhaps might be the best chance at this point in time.
And Susan, President Biden is also pushing to try and bring back that 1994 ban on assault weapons, as well as increasing the legal age to bear arms from 18 to 21. Will measures like those work?
Like I said, we'll see in the case of New York, which again has one of the highest crime rates in the country. So does Chicago. Incidentally, they also have the strictest gun laws. But I think this bill that has been passed by New York just yesterday that raises the age from 18 to 21 will be a great case test to see. I think a lot of people across the country and across New York are hoping that it will really put a dent into these gun incidents, and we'll wait and see whether or not this will help or not. But on a federal level, President Biden knows himself that based on the U.S. Constitution, it's very hard to get something like that passed, whether in Congress or on the Senate floor, to raise the age, because the Democrats and the Republicans really won't agree. And the reason for that is because the constituents of those lawmakers really in their states don't agree. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, the 1994 law that banned assault weapons, really that was during the time that there were only 1.5 million assault weapons. Some call it a limited law. Those that did have these assault weapons were able to keep their own assault weapons during that time, and it was supposed to be a gradual law. So, bringing back a law from 1994, again, it's going to be very debatable. Will there be amendments to it or not? That's probably going to be very unlikely as well. But I think the president took this opportunity to address the nation, on the one hand, to say that he is on this issue. On the other hand, if even a minor law gets passed in Congress or ultimately in the Senate, which will be the most important, at least, he can take some credit for come the midterm election.
Susan Tarani live for us in New York City. Thanks as always, Susan.